Hey there, guys. Welcome to a very exciting edition of your Vorpal board tonight. I'm going to be solo. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this is going to be some new upcoming Kickstarter game that is going to be breaking barriers. I'm going to show you all sorts of cool Vorpal functionality. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm going to be building a 100-piece Moana puzzle of my daughter's. And I'm going to be doing this to myself because it's virus time, and I'm bored. I bet you all are a little bit bored out there too, but more so, I'm going to shout out to Agent Dave in the chat. Hopefully he's here soon to witness this. He's been talking about doing a jigsaw puzzle using Vorpal board probably for a year now. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to scan in each individual piece, and I'm going to put them together on screen here. So I'm not even going to do it a sane way. I'm not going to mount my camera and build it out on the table. I'm going to try to scan each individual piece, and we're going to see how it goes. I got some music going, so let me know if the levels are weird. Without anybody else in the stream, I actually have a hard time telling what's going on. All right, so before we get started, definitely shout out in chat if you have questions about the system. If any of you are new backers or recently found us, definitely I can chat on this stream. I don't have to be focusing on playing the game. So be sure to give me a shout if you have any questions about how anything works. There's not going to be too much new stuff that you'd be able to see in this stream. We've changed a couple of things with how click events work. Left mouse click is now is always now selecting, and I can group select using the drag, and you're going to see that a lot for the puzzle today. And right mouse click lets me pan everything like this. And we've also added hotkeys for arrows, so you can use your keyboard if you want, and then you can hit plus or minus to zoom in and out, in addition to using your mouse wheel. So we started to add some keyboard shortcuts just to make things a little bit more user-friendly. You can hit the R key to rotate. You can hit the Z key to zoom, stuff like that, so you don't have to always be using the buttons for everything. So you'll be seeing a little bit of that today. There's also, this one's exciting, folks. I got all the exciting exclusive stuff tonight. We now have a help button. And the help button just pops up this nice friendly screen. Gives you all the details about how to control the virtual tabletop in Vorpal board, as well as all the keyboard shortcuts. We're just kind of doing a little bit of cleanup around the edges of some of the usability things as more people are using the beta and getting into the system via us playing with them. So a couple little random things for today. We got some cool new stuff coming up in the next week-ish that we'll start talking to you about here soon. All right, so puzzles. Everybody loves them. I'm sure you've done tons of them. They were a huge, huge thing in my house growing up. My father is a mad puzzler. When we were kids, it was all, 5,000-piece puzzles strewn around my basement. And my dad had a system. He still has the system. He's currently obviously shut in like everybody else. And so he's been showing me pictures of the puzzles he is completing since he is on lockdown currently. So his system was he had all these boxes. He would just get all these box tops from all his completed puzzles, which were getting framed, glued and framed. And he would take all the box tops and he would build sort of a organizational system all over my basement. And as kids, I have two brothers, me and my two brothers, we were employed for the sum of $0 to help with that organizational system. So we didn't do a lot of the putting the pieces together. We did a lot of the grunt work of laying everything out in boxes. So in honor of him, I'm going to start by bringing in all the end pieces first. Now, one thing I want to say is this is going to be scanning a whole lot of weird shapes, which is really why I'm interested in this test. Fairly recently, we added the ability to scan in non-rectangular shapes. And so this is going to be just about the worst case scenario in terms of cutting this shape out, not having a lot of the background show through, and then having it be good enough so that you could actually put the two pieces together. These two don't go together, obviously, but But hopefully that works out. And the other thing I want to note is that I haven't tried this yet. So it could go down in flames. We could see some weird bugs, but that's always the most exciting way to do stuff, right? All right, so here we go. I'm going to start just scanning in all these end pieces. And the way that I'm bringing it in is using the scanning box. See, already that one's got a little bit of pink there, so I'm going to kind of dial in what brightness. There we go. So I'm using the scanning box. It's set up here to my left, and then I'm just going to kind of bring in a whole lot of these edges. I know the inspirer of this stream, Dave, he actually tried to do like a 1,000 piece puzzle the other day, and I think he tapped out at scanning in 400 pieces. But he didn't try to put them together. He was just kind of seeing how fast he could bring them in. I wasn't going to do 1,000 pieces because, one, it would take forever and you guys would hate it. And two, I actually, we've never gotten up to 1,000 pieces scanned before. So to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure what would happen when you have 1,000 PNGs all brought into the tabletop at the same time. Game of Tears, I had a great time playing with you as well. We did a Codename stream right after the Kickstarter funded, and we brought in a whole bunch of people from the Discord community to play a game with us, and that was really cool. Me and Mike and Thad have been playing on our own time some more Betrayal Legacy, and I think that's one that we're going to try to actually get some guest players in on. So we wanted to learn it a little bit ourselves because sometimes it's hard to have people in that we've never played with before when we don't know the game. But yeah, so we're gonna start reaching out to folks in the Discord and try to get people to come in and play kind of a guest family every once in a while. So that's been really fun. We're only a couple games in, but we each have our own families, which is cool. Another thing I want to throw out for everybody just to consider is, this stream kind of started on time, and I'm not going to say for sure that was due to it being just me, but you can infer that if you want to. Hopefully everybody out there is doing all right now. It is a wild time. We're in upstate New York, and so it's obviously not as bad as New York City, but still, I'm crazy up here. So we're just not leaving the house, which has been a little bit of a struggle. So here's our first bug, right? This is what I was wondering if it would show up. We do a calculation when we scan in one of these cards. We use a computer vision libraries to analyze the photo that we take of the piece, and it uses a math equation to determine the bounding rectangle of that weird shape, right? So this is obviously a strange shape that it has identified, and what it does is it generates a contour. That's that black line that goes around the outside, and then there's a whole bunch of properties of that contour that the phone knows about, sort of how many vertexes or vertices it has, how long it is, which way it's kind of oriented, and then it also has a bounding rectangle to tell you, how wide overall it is. For this particular shape, it is miscalculating the bounding rectangle, which is something that I'm going to have to look into. So we've already found something good. Fortune Turtle in chat, also known as my cohort Mike. What I'm trying to say, Mike, is that I was ready, I was on time, and that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. So my wife and I just finished Tiger King, the current craze. Everybody loves the Tiger King. And I enjoyed it. I remember, reading about Joe Exotic over the years, so it was interesting to kind of see the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, it was depressing, and I feel like I don't know. I kind of was let down by just sort of the end. I don't know, the show just kind of ends, and there's really no resolution other than kind of everybody is awful, which I don't know, wasn't the best. I mean, it was certainly interesting to see kind of all those unique people, but I wasn't totally enamored with it, but we did check it out. And then other news for me, I've backed, this will be no surprise to anybody who's been following our streams and stuff for all this time. I backed the Frosthaven Kickstarter, which is tearing up the charts on Kickstarter currently. I haven't looked at it in a few days, but it was, I think, almost to 7 million the last time I checked. So I'm certainly excited for that. I think it's going to be a year or something before that one comes out. So I'll be anxiously looking forward to it, and also just trying to finish my current game of Gloomhaven and the expansion. So I still have a ways to go there. But if you backed Gloomhaven, let me know in the chat. I'm a big Gloomhaven fan. All right, there's not that many. I don't feel like matches in there right now. Yeah, Fortune Turtle. I mean, I tend to agree. I think that obviously those cult leader, animal abusing, maniacs are really largely antagonists, one and all. But Carol definitely seems like something happened to that husband of hers. That seems pretty probable to me. All right, I think we're making pretty good headway here on the end pieces. The end pieces. Gosh, that echoes in my memory is being told to find all the end pieces. It's so silly the things you remember, but as a kid, I remember kind of, wanting to be the one to find the corner pieces, just so my dad would say, "Oh yeah, you were the one who found the corner." Like, it just seems so silly, but I guess that's what a 8-year-old thinks about. Yes, we are getting some pickup of the background on some of these shapes, as you can see. It's doing an okay job. It's not doing a fantastic job so far. Let's see. And one of the variables that you have here when you're scanning pieces like this is how deep you put it in the box, and then how close you make the top. Because if you close it all the way, sometimes that can create some extra shadows. I'll kind of do a couple of these. See, and that one did really well with the box all the way closed. So you get kind of a feel for it based on the game you're playing. And look at that. We can just put Moana's head. That's the easiest piece right there. We'll put Moana's head together. You get kind of a feel for it when you're scanning stuff in. Yeah, these blue areas, I think, are going to be a little bit tricky, since I'm not going to be able to really test the pieces at all like you would with a puzzle. But I bet we're up to it. It's 100 pieces. Yeah, Mike, I feel like in Tiger King, it's like the thing I didn't like about it is, you're right, everybody was bad. But like, whereas I can enjoy watching that when it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something, because it's fake. I have a hard time sometimes enjoying that when I'm watching real people, because obviously, those people were really, a lot of them were really bad. Even if I find them fascinating, even if I find like what appears to be like a complete sociopath, Doc Antle, who's a character in the show, even if I find like looking at him and listening to him talk pretty entertaining, it's still kind of depressing sometimes. Oh wow, that one didn't come in well at all. Yeah, it really doesn't like that light blue, does it? Alright, well, we're gonna have to go with that one for the moment. That light blue, it doesn't particularly love that color. For folks who are on Twitch, there was a pretty cool Vorpal-related stream that happened earlier today. It's actually on right now, and I'm almost afraid to tell you guys about it because you might just bail on this stream and leave me all alone. But Dwarven Forge, the company that makes really, really cool D&D terrain, they were doing a one-shot tonight using Vorpal board. They've been using our system to play while they're in isolation. While the Vorpal board or the Dwarven Forge staff is in isolation. So very cool stream going on over there where they're using Vorpal to do their really neat terrain. So, all right, so these kind of, there we go. That one goes like that. And I think this one, oh yeah, baby, look at that. Now what's cool is one thing that folks might not have seen yet is we can lock individual components. So like let's say I wanted to select these three and lock them all. There's this lock icon now for individual pieces. And then if I want to drag them, it just gives a little shake that tells you like, can't move it. And then if I want to unlock them. So once we start getting stuff kind of in position, we'll start locking it, which is a nice kind of use of that functionality. And I think that piece is going to go right there. Let's see if there's any others I can kind of bang out right now. I'm not going to look at the box. That was another... Oh, look at that. That's going to be... That's another... That was like another sacrilegious thing in my house as kids, was like you were not allowed to look at the box to see what the image looked like. So, you know, my dad would do these puzzles that were like images made up of 500 other images, and you'd say, okay, well I found a bunch of pieces that look like a guy on a windsurfing rig, and then I found some stuff of a dolphin, and I have no idea where the dolphin stuff goes, and you weren't allowed to look at the box. It was really pretty irritating, to be perfectly honest. All right, let's see if there's any others for sure that I can throw together here. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't love all this stuff. It's all water stuff. That looks like that probably goes together. Alright. That's probably it for now. This one might... I don't think so. Yeah, for folks who have not played Betrayal Legacy, this is definitely a big shout out for Betrayal Legacy. We haven't played all the way through yet, obviously, but the first few sessions have been really, really good. That game is keeping you on your toes with all manner of changes and stuff. It's very cool. I just really love Legacy games, so just because of the possibility space that they have. And actually, if you've watched our stream a bunch in the past, there's the Button Shy folks. They create those wallet games. They just announced a monthly contest. For a long time they were doing a monthly contest, but then they had stopped doing the monthly contest for a little while. You know, I think just due to the virus, and they're starting it back up. And they just announced the rules. Kind of every monthly contest has like a specific kind of challenge, if you will, and they just announced the one, and it's a legacy game. So it's going to be creating a 18 card game that can fit into one of their like wallet-sized wallets, but it has to have a legacy component. So you got to be able to destroy cards or cut off pieces or put holes in them or whatever, which I think is just super exciting. Can't wait to see what people come up with. I'm not the type of person who would enter such a thing, but I am always really interested to see what people come up with, just because people are really creative. Hopefully this like jaunty music is appropriate for puzzling. Wonder how many people are out there right now, kind of, you know, using Zoom and stuff just to do puzzles. Like, it's a pretty universal hobby, I feel like. So with parents and grandparents trying to get together to do some puzzling, looking pretty good. I might have all the pieces here almost, all the end pieces at least. Well, Mike, the reason I'm not playing the crab song from Moana, which I love, by the way, is because I imagine it would get us shut down. You know, they have those audio algorithms that'll kill your stream or kill your YouTube videos if they find copyrighted music, and I can't imagine that Disney is particularly lenient about that sort of thing. Yeah, I love that. I love the crab song. It feels like it was meant for David Bowie, and unfortunately, I think he had passed away by the time that movie came out. So I wonder if they were thinking of trying to get him to do it. Now, I just thought of something that's interesting that is not going to be optimal for building a puzzle. Is, let's say I like get this whole thing together right here, right? And I realize that it should be on the side. If I rotate it, it's going to rotate the 4 pieces individually. It doesn't rotate the entire snapped together group, because it's in normal game world, it's better to individually rotate all the pieces. So that's going to be kind of a pain. We're adding more painful stuff to our challenge here. Okay, so let's see. So that guy looks good right there. I wonder about all these waves, kind of which direction they go. That looks pretty good. Huh. You know, I actually thought this was going to be, like, super easy. But it might not actually be that easy, because you don't get the physical, you know, feedback. So kind of identifying if the piece fits in is not as, you know, it's really not as clear as I was kind of hoping. A bunch of like antler looking things there. I don't know what that is all about. Right here. Yeah, that looks good. It's like a net, looks like. Alright. Still kind of think that one might line up, but I'm not sure. Nope. I wonder what this green thing is supposed to be. So it's got a little like, that looks like the bird. So my guess is that this goes this way. Like that. Looks like a mountaintop in the background, maybe. So, oh, maybe that might snap in right there. Impossible to tell. Holy mackerel. So it might. And then I have a feeling that the water will all be down at the bottom. That's kind of looks like Maui's hook, right? For all you Moana heads out there. No, that doesn't go together. This guy looks like maybe he goes right there. Hard to say. Okay, so there's a bunch of the hook. Or at least some stuff that has kind of that scry kind of writing on it. That looks like it should be part of this wood stuff. Huh. Let's see if I have any other pieces. This is a kid's puzzle. I feel like I should be crushing this thing. Some of these pieces are going to be the ones that do it for me. It's becoming pretty clear that puzzles might not be the thing you want to do on Vorpal board. But you could. I think probably be better to just put it out on the table and have a camera pointing down at it. Probably the better way to do it. Then you could have remote players kind of pointing out where the, you know, where the pieces are. But even then, I don't know if I'd want to do a puzzle that way. But, you know, maybe people want to do that. That'd be fine, you know. And some of these shapes are definitely proving to be a little bit too complicated for, proving to be a little bit too complicated for the algorithm, it seems like. There we go. Let's see if I have any other end pieces here. So has anybody seen that, there's like a new, like, almost like D&D Goblins, animated movie, Onward or something like that, that I saw some previews for. We haven't seen it yet, but I was thinking of watching it with the kids. It looked, I'm always nervous about those movies because I feel like they're, especially if you have kids, they're almost like, in my opinion, like really emotionally manipulative. Like, I don't know if anybody out there saw the one where it's all the different emotions. Inside Out. Like, if you're a parent, that's a really, I don't know, it was a really hard movie to watch for me. Just because it's a lot about, you know, kids kind of growing up and having to do their own thing and kind of struggle through their own aging or whatever, and, you know, maturing. And yeah, that was not... At the end, I was kind of like, well, that wasn't a great experience for me. Like, I get what they were going for, but it was just kind of upsetting more than anything, especially to be watching it with your 7-year-old or whatever. All right, so that's looking pretty good. We got a bottom left corner, we got a top right corner. I'm feeling pretty good about those two. Where's our other corner pieces? So this is a corner piece. I wonder what corner that is. Probably top left. It's got to be, right? With that hook? Like maybe the hook's kind of going off the edge? That's what I'm going to guess. And then do I have the final corner piece? I do. So I'm betting that this is the bottom right. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, and then this guy is kind of up here somewhere. Up there somewhere. And then unfortunately, I gotta rotate all of these to the right and then rebuild it. So, not the end of the world, but let's see here. Alright, so our thing's coming together here a little bit. It would have been interesting to just sort of like, you know, drop the Moana soundtrack on here and see how long it took before I started getting copyright takedown notices or whatever. Yeah, I'm not looking at the box, man. It's not on my screen, dude. The box is in the overlay, the Twitch overlay, so I'd have to look at it over here on the other window. So You probably see it like down here somewhere, but I don't see it there. Oh yeah, I mean that was the law in my house, man. You were not allowed to look at the box. I mean that does seem, I guess maybe it seems insane now that I think about it, but yeah, you were not allowed to look at the box in my house. It's a strict code of conduct for the puzzles, and sometimes they were awful, man. I remember as a kid we'd have the ones that it's just like. Just be like a 1,000 piece puzzle. It was like goldfish, you know, just like 1,000 goldfish swimming, you know, and it, or the puzzle where it's just like it's almost like you open up a junk drawer and it's just like 10,000 items, and the thing is, you know, 6 feet by 5 feet. That was the type of stuff that my dad really liked doing. I think it was kind of like a relaxation thing for him, maybe. They would take a long time to assemble, but you know, it would be the type of thing where we would go to bed, and then in the morning we'd come down and he had, like, you know, just zoned out and cranked through another, you know, 100 pieces, 150 pieces or something. The effort was really in the organization technique. So being able to build up those, those boxes, to have them organized enough so that you could quickly find what you needed to find. You know, so you'd have all these situations where it'd be like, oh man, there's a cue ball. Who remembers where we saw a cue ball before? And then we'd all have to search through the boxes to find the cue ball. Dave, it's good to see you. I'm here, man. I'm doing it. We're slowly working our way through this thing. This is all for Dave tonight. All right, let's see. I wonder if I have all the pieces so far. I mean, looks like I'm doing okay. Yeah, hope everything's going well, Dave. Are you still kind of on the list to be going, leaving the house to go to work and stuff, or are you on lockdown now? So this is interesting. Where the heck does this piece go? Oh, right there. Duh. Maybe. I don't know if it does. Man, 4 days a week, Tuesday to Friday, says Dave. That's crazy, man. I mean, it feels like it's been, you know, obviously different part of the world, but it feels like I've been, you know, kind of locked up in the house for weeks now. I guess I have, so. All right, let's see. So this piece looks like it goes right there, right? Yeah, kind of the tip top of that little piece of wood. Yeah, that looks good. All right. What do you think that is? Looks like a hand, maybe. Maybe that's Moana's little fingers there. That's what I'm guessing. Somehow, though, where the heck does this yellow thing go? Man, that's crazy. Going back to work, I salute you, but stay safe if you can. Jeez. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, top of the sale. Gosh. Yeah, so that's it's one of the things that's not great is when we do that rotation, it obviously screws up the positions of all the pieces because they're not meant to be rotated as a unit. So, okay, those... Oh, that might just lock in right there. Oh, you look at that. The other thing that you're going to start noticing is since these pieces come in and they're not exactly straight when I put them in the box, the you know, like it creates kind of it's like somebody cast a spell on the puzzle and made it just barely not fit. All right, so I'm not sure that's right there. This white thing right there doesn't look exactly right. Anybody else feel like I'm wrong there? That seems this color scheme seems too. I think it's probably just the darkness or lightness that it brought in the piece, because that little wave there is continuous across the top. So I bet it's there. Dave, yeah, I don't think we're going to be adding group rotate after snapping pieces together to the list. I'm sorry, that one I don't. I can't think. I was thinking about that earlier. I can't think of a real good reason to do that. So this piece concerns me. Where the heck does this thing go? Unless it gets dark again, you know, if the water gets dark again as we go up, and it goes right there. Every time I say that, I just make a fool of myself immediately. All right. You think this piece that goes right there? Maybe it does. It looked too dark to me, so I just didn't do it. Think that goes there? Yeah, I guess so, whatever that is. Oh man, we're really crushing it now. All right. And then I guess we're gonna do this here, that there, that there. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! God, I'm feeling great. Okay, so this puzzle is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. We're going to zoom in. It's kind of funny. Like, I like the effect. When it's all done, it's going to look like somebody, like, kind of hand rendered it through, like, a computer, some sort of, you know, weird algorithm. All right, so we got to get back now into scanning. Oh, hold on. I got to move everything over so we can get the pieces popping in here. Dave, I'm not singing, man. I know you voted on it in the Discord, but I'm not going to sing. Can't do it. Can't do it. Lost my singing voice years ago. All right, so this stuff we know this stuff's all down here. How it goes down there is kind of still a little bit of a mystery, but we know that those pieces go down there. Where I'm gonna start, because I think it's probably the easiest, is I'm gonna look for Moana pieces, and we're gonna start on Moana here for a little bit. Try to get her done. Yeah, the community. You're right, Dave. The community did vote. You know, I'm not gonna debate. They did vote, but on this stream. Hey Thad, good to see you. Yeah, man, you gotta try. When Dave's been bringing it up, you gotta eventually call his bluff and you gotta try it out. It's definitely gonna look really weird when it's done, though. That's for sure. Well, I guess yeah. My employment of that phrase, maybe that's not exactly right. There wasn't really a bluff to call, but Dave has been bringing it up for a while, so I decided, hey, why not give it a shot? Maybe we'll learn something. And we did find one little bug on the. We did find one little bug on the algorithm. But generally speaking, it's been doing okay. You know, you can see, so one of the things that's going on here, to give you a little bit of inside baseball, inside Vorpal, this pink right here, it's getting shadowed by the piece, right? Because the light is above it. So if you imagine this in the box, the light's like up here somewhere. And this little area underneath this cardboard is getting shadowed, so it's a little bit darker. And so it is not registering as the pink. And there's actually a reason for that. So the prototype that I'm using, the lid, is using some cardstock, which is this color pink, and this isn't our final pink. Our final pink is a little bit brighter than this, which should, we have on kind of a fabric-y, vinyl-y kind of material. So this kind of thing should be actually alleviated by that because it's a little bit brighter colored. So it shouldn't get confused and think that that's not the pink, but we'll dial that in once we get the final material in. So yeah, if you're wondering if that was just me kind of making an excuse as to why my dang puzzle pieces aren't scanning in well enough, it's kind of it's half that, but half actually that's the reason. You know, a lot of this is just sort of dialing in the parameters of the computer vision algorithm, but generally it's performing pretty well for the weird shapes that we got here. Okay. Oh, Dave's gotta go. Dave's gotta go. It's all right, Dave. You can check us out on VOD. But just know that if you really wanted to, you could do a 1,000-piece puzzle. I don't know. I was saying earlier before you arrived. I don't know what would happen if you had 1,000 transparent PNGs all on the stage, or in the board at the same time. It might start to puke a little bit at that point, but you could get them all in, and you could try to put it together. Yeah, if you refresh, right? So that's one of the things. If I were to refresh this game right now, what would happen is the phone would need to, the phone would need to send me all those pieces. So it would need to do the reseed. We call it the reseed process, and with that many pieces, it'll take a little bit of time to get it over to you. It zips them all up and then it sends them. But PNGs are bigger than JPEGs because they have the transparency layer as well. So it definitely makes the reseed bigger. And yeah, moving that many at once or rotating 100 at once or whatever, yeah, that starts to get into the point where, honestly, we'll put in a limit. Not that I think people are going to try to do this very frequently, but we'll put in a limit on the number of pieces that you can actually move at the same time, just to keep people from killing their experience by trying to drag around 100 pieces at the same time or whatever. I don't think that that's a common need. So we're almost done with Moana here. I think Moana is pretty up there for me in Disney movies. I really enjoyed Moana. I thought the music was cool. I thought the setting was really cool. Obviously looked awesome. I thought that's a good one. That's one of my favorite ones. I also have a real soft spot for Lilo and Stitch, which maybe isn't a super common Disney movie favorite, but I think that one's really good. It's got Ving Rhames doing a great voice as a weird paranormal investigator kind of guy. WALL-E is number 1. Okay, yeah, WALL-E's good. I think WALL-E's up there too. I also like Emperor's New Groove. If you have not seen Emperor's New Groove, I highly recommend it. That's another good one. Like I saw a lot of these as kids, but then once I had kids, I started kind of going back and watching them again, and it was interesting to see which ones I felt, kind of held up. All right, Dave, take care, man. Yeah, Emperor's New Groove is great. It's got David Spade and The guy who plays Walter in Big Lebowski, John Goodman. Both really good. Oh man, once we finish up Moana, we're gonna move on to Maui, and then we're gonna be running downhill at that point, I think. Once we get through Moana. Let's see here. I think that the red part is up. It's like that. Nope, that's not right. It's got to be over here because her legs would be off her body there. All right, that looks good. So the good news is I think most games don't have components that look like this. I think we're going to be fine with the type of complexity we can deal with, but right now somebody's like loading up a Kickstarter to fire off a game that has like puzzle pieces as the main things or something like that. Neon pink puzzle pieces just to like ruin my life. There we go. Alright, I can't find any more Moana pieces. They're in here somewhere, but I'm just going to start doing Maui's. Another thing that we recently changed, which I don't know if we've highlighted it in a stream before, but the videos now, for folks who have watched a lot of this, a lot of us before, you probably noticed in the past, the videos, the player videos, I mean, like me up here, you could move the table around, you move the whole view, or you could zoom in or out, and the videos would stay put. Sort of the videos existed as in their own layout. They sat on top of all the game components, and we've changed the way that works. So now the videos actually sit inside that same layer, but right behind the pieces. So I can actually now put stuff on top of my face, which is something we used to not be able to do. The reason for that is kind of twofold. One, now these player videos are, all the position data is shared across all users. So if I move my video over here, everybody who's connected to the session will see that happen, and they will see it in the exact same kind of pixel perfect accuracy. So my video will be right next to these pieces on their screen. If you've watched some of our streams in the past, you've probably seen us say like, oh no, I put you over here, or I put you over there, and me over here, or whatever. Which that happened in every game. So we decided, okay, we're not gonna have these things be able to be, positioned independently of each other. The other big thing is that, let's say I was playing a game, and I had a video down here, right? And I wanted to zoom, just to kind of look at these pieces. In the old system, before we made this change, this hover zoom window in the bottom right would actually sink below my video. So you wouldn't be able to see that zoom. It was really kind of irritating. And you'd have to do a thing where, I move the video over and then I zoom, or I like move the board really far over and the video would be right here, and then I could do the zoom. So we kind of decided just as a team that it made more sense to have everything kind of on that same layer. And now that we've played a lot with it, it definitely seems like the right move. You can also now do cool stuff, like you can put pieces over people's faces and just dumb things that you might want to do during a game, where you wouldn't be able to do that in the past. We also get some nice benefits, like you can lock player videos. Now that these are just sort of like game components, you can lock them just like anything else, and you can rotate them if you really wanted to get crazy. Here we go, I'm the puzzler, baby. I'm upside down. I'll do that for a little while, right? So that'll let us in the future do some cool stuff too. Adding effects to the players or whatever. Other things that we might not be able to do if those items weren't actually in the tabletop the same way. So we're excited about that. Yeah, extensive. I mean, that's exactly right, right? So the thing that was a bummer in the old way, like, let's say you were playing with somebody who had no idea, never used Vorpal before, right? And you, on your end, like, nicely laid stuff out. And this would happen, you know, when we were on stream. I would lay out stuff on stream the way I wanted to see it so that the people who are watching me would get kind of a good experience. So I'd put the cameras, like, over here on the right or whatever. And I would have to tell Mike and Thad and kind of, like, talk them through, like, where I put the cameras. So if they wanted to set it up the same way, so that when I started putting cards near those cameras, you know, they would understand where they should put their cards. It was just really clunky, and it would always result in a lot of kind of talking back and forth that I felt like was unnecessary. So I think it was a good call. This is one of those pieces that was bringing in weird, where it cuts off the top and the bottom based on that bounding rectangle. So I'm gonna mess with this a little bit just to see if I can get it to like this particular shape. And I think the last time it was this same kind of shape that had it's like the two up, one up, one down, one to the left or right. So I do think there's something about that particular configuration that's confusing that algorithm. So that's good. That's a good example for me to mess with. Wow, this is just like a lot of hair on this piece. Who is that? Probably Maui. But yeah, I was saying earlier, for anybody out there who is kind of like a D&D fan or enjoys kind of like actual play type content, definitely check out Dwarven Forge Live. They're on Twitch, and it's Dwarven Forge, which is a company down in New York, down in the city, who makes just the best terrain, just the best 3D terrain. It's super awesome, and they've been using Vorpal to do some actual plays while everybody is not in the office, so they've been able to show off their terrain using our stuff, which is really cool. We're really excited about it. And they stream it Dwarven Forge Live. We host them most of the time when they're streaming. I actually had to interrupt our hosting of their stream to do this insanity. So you know, their stuff's probably would have been a little bit more entertaining for folks, but that's okay. You guys get to hang out with me and puzzle. Yeah, and if you've ever watched our River Break streams, which is the D&D game that we host on our channel, Art, the DM, a lot of his scenery is Dwarven Forge stuff. So you definitely have seen that terrain in that stream. Every time I go over there, or when I see it in person, I'm kind of blown away by that stuff. It's very, very impressive. So I said earlier I like Moana, but there's a character in Moana, if you're not familiar, named Pua. Pua is this pig right here. And Pua is in the movie for, I don't know, a minute total, maybe? And it always, you know, it's so stupid for like a grown human to be angry at a Disney movie, but it always was so irritating to me because they kind of like acted as if Pua was like a real character, and you know, obviously it's just so they can like sell toys, but yeah, this pig is in the movie for no time at all, and it seemed just especially obvious that their intent was to just make this character so they could sell some stuffed animals or whatever. Just cut to video of me like ranting at the dinner table about Pua. Just really gets me worked up. Our audio tonight, our music is from Tabletop Audio. It's a very cool website. It's for tabletop streams. They have just a lot of really neat kind of atmospheric stuff. They have a lot of atmospheric stuff, which is cool. If you're ever looking for like spooky music or adventuring music or whatever for your games, it's really nice. Even if you're playing at your house and you just want to have something cool going on in the background, it's good for that. I think I'm gonna like the way this looks at the end. Just that it's gonna kind of look like a child drew it. Yeah, and see, there's that shape again. It's the straight up, straight down. It's the ones that have the 3. That it definitely cuts them off. It cuts off their height there. So that's good. Now I have this documented. Something about how that's calculating. Yeah, so the Maui stuff will be maybe a little bit tricky just to figure out where all his tattoos go, because he's so huge. Famously voiced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I wonder if they'll do a Moana 2. I feel like it's always just sort of like a foregone conclusion that they're always going to make like the second movie, but I don't know how well Frozen 2 did, so I just wonder, if they're gonna keep doing the sequel thing. Somebody's gonna jump in here and tell me that Frozen 2 like doubled the revenue of Frozen 1 or something, but I hope they don't like do that all the time. Although I guess like they're one of my favorite childhood ones was Lion King, and they made a Lion King 2, but I think it was like direct video or something like that. And I think also just like awful. Now they just do those those live action remakes, which I don't know about all you guys, but I have no interest in whatsoever. I really like the animation. The scanner box, a 10-inch tablet is not gonna fit. I think I don't have a measuring tape in front of me, but I think the scanner box, the opening is like 5.5 inches wide, something like that. So a 10-inch tablet is not going to fit. I mean, you would be able to use the 10-inch tablet if you were hand scanning, if you were just holding it over some pink paper and scanning the cards in, or as a streaming camera as well, if you wanted to do it as a board stream. But it won't fit into the scanning box at that size. We actually have been messing around with the iPad version recently, because a lot of my focus has been on the iOS implementation, which has been cool because it's kind of cool to see everything up and running on the different platform. We'll probably start streaming using the iOS build here pretty soon, so we'll have kind of the Android right alongside the iOS, so you can see what that looks like. Good question. Your text color is dark blue. Jeff Warrior. So the bottom does come off. I mean, that's a fair point, right? You could take the bottom off and kind of sit the scanning box on top of the tablet with this tablet's camera facing upwards. So you might be able to kind of rig it a little bit to work, actually. You would just have to make sure that the camera of the tablet is kind of centered on the box. So you might have to kind of prop up the box in the back so it doesn't sort of tip downwards. But that's a good point. You could take the bottom off. It's got no screws, or it won't be glued in or whatever. It just slots in. So that's a good idea. You would be able to do that. It would be a little bit kind of hacky, but yeah, you could pull it off. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't consider it kind of like the optimal like happy path, but I think it would work. And that might be something that I can kind of rig up here and give a shot, like just with my iPad, right? I could test that now. just sit the box kind of on top of the iPad and sort of see what the experience is like, as an example. Good thing you were here. You're hired. Got all the good ideas coming out of chat. Yeah, and one of the exciting things that we have going on, I actually I posted to Twitter some shots the other night. I played Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle Earth on Vorpal with my brother, who lives down in New York City area, and it was very cool because we've done a lot of enhancements since the last time we played, so that was really neat. But one of the things we're like really anxiously awaiting, me personally, is adding the screen sharing stuff that we have on iOS currently on Android. It's not fully implemented on iOS yet, so I was not able to stream our Lord of the Rings game to him, which I'm very excited to be able to do that, because we kind of always have to read Lord of the Rings is very app driven, so we have to read the app text to him, which is, non-optimal. In case you're keeping track at home, we did win this week in our Lord of the Rings game. That game is very cool. If you've never checked it out, it's a neat game, and it plays exceptionally well on Vorpal. There's not a lot of scanning you have to do. The players can kind of manage their own stuff largely. It's a good one. I hope they make more games in that style. I don't know how successful it was. I mean, I assume it was successful just because it's Lord of the Rings, but hopefully they do more of that. Maybe that looks like, it's his necklace, something like that. It's crazy how many pieces there are of Maui's body here. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm definitely going to try to do that, rigging up the iPad underneath the camera, just to at least, see if it works. Be able to kind of answer that question in the future with a little bit more confidence. Yeah, I think this is not. Yeah, it's not all the way there yet. I'm stalling out here. I have a lot of pieces that I don't have connected. Let's see, what is this one all about? It's got some more Maui. Everything is like Maui's body. I think I have this upside down. There we go. Yeah, these tattoos, man. There we go. There we go. We're getting some action here. Show me your secrets, Maui. Okay, that shoulder. That looks like it should go right there, but I swear... Oh, it does. Alright. Never mind. Okay. And there's gotta be more of the, gotta be more of this, sail here, because there we go. That goes like that. Cool. And then this think this kind of... Does it fit like that? No, it doesn't look like it. Does it fit like this? Have I been looking at that the entire time and just not realized? Yeah, it does. Okay. Duh. Jeez. Okay, so... All right. Now he's almost done. Let's see here. His waist kind of is, you know, he has that like leafy kind of thing down going on down in the down at his waist, and you know it's somehow attached to the to these pieces of wood. I think I had it the right way. I think it's like this. Okay. This particular tune is like putting me to sleep. I don't know what this one's called. I'm going to get it back to the Halfling Festival. That one's a lot more jaunty. Okay, that looks good. So this is going to be interesting because sort of the little differences between pieces as they scan in kind of, we're having this problem where they're kind of like adding up, that it's, you know, if all of them are a hair off, they might end up, you know, kind of not perfectly aligning over the course of the whole stretch here, but we'll see. We shall see. Are his legs visible? I don't even know. Alrighty, let's see here. I was thinking today, I would love to look up, I'm gonna do this, look up speed puzzling. I want to see that. I'm sure it's a thing, right? I'm sure there are people out there who that's their you know what they do for fun. They build puzzles as fast as they can. I would love to see what that's all about. If anybody has ever seen any speed puzzling, let me know. You know, it's like the kind of thing that you'd run into when you're like on vacation in like Las Vegas or something. The speed puzzling championships of the world. And I'm sure it's incredibly impressive. But you wouldn't want to watch it for more than just a little bit. Alright, so I swear that this went in there, right? Yeah. That looks pretty good. Yeah, Fortune Turtle, I think we are in the home stretch. We're getting there. We are going to solve this puzzle. I have confidence that I will be able to finish this puzzle. These pieces are a little bit weird to me. I think I might have them oriented the wrong way. I think they might go more like in this direction. But I'm not sure about them. This one could... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that, baby. Alright, so we need one that kind of goes upwards like that. Which leads me to believe that this one, you know, probably ends up like in there or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I should have told my dad to watch this stream tonight. He probably would have loved it. He would have said, "My son! He's puzzling." Yeah, maybe like that. I don't know. These kind of like net ones are a little bit weird. Another game I got recently and tried out on Vorpal and I thought was really good. You don't really, you know, Vorpal isn't super necessary to play this one, but Wavelength. If you haven't checked out Wavelength yet, you should. That's cool. It plays up to like essentially infinite. I mean, they say 12, but you know, you could kind of do whatever you want. You know, it's a really good party game. Takes like 10 seconds to explain. And definitely people who aren't, you know, more fanatical board game people, you know, definitely would enjoy it as well. And it does play good on, it plays good on Vorpal, but it would play totally fine just on like Skype or some other camera that you have right, you know, around your house, FaceTime or whatever on iPad. It would, I think it would work for those as well. We'll probably get that one up on a team stream in the future. Just have a bunch of people on and play that one. All right. My least favorite part of this puzzle is definitely this like netting stuff. I don't like it at all, gang. I don't know why. I just really don't like it. I think I have all the pieces in there too. I just gotta. This might be the last one. I just got to put it together. There we go. Get some of Maui's belly. That's good. This one probably goes right there. Yep. This one looks like maybe it's upside down. Do not know exactly what is happening there. That looks good. Bet this piece comes in a little bit weird. This is yeah, so this is one we haven't, I don't think we've even had one of this kind of like four side thing. I think that's even further exacerbating the same problem we were having. Oh, look at that. Further exacerbating the problems we were having before, where it's having a hard time figuring out what the bounding box is of it. But I know that this is Maui's hair. So yeah, it definitely goes in right there. Cool. Folks who are still here, I'm incredibly impressed. You're watching like the paint dry stream. It's like Jack is a very dull boy from The Shining. James is online doing puzzles. There we go. That one's just gonna go in there. This one's gonna be great. I'm gonna put it up on YouTube. Vorpal Word does a 100-piece puzzle. It will get us 5 views. Yeah, that one's gonna go right there. All right, this is good. We're almost done with that sail. Then we just got the water, and then we're home free. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, these pieces are not, all this water stuff, I'm not thrilled about. I think this goes right in here, because I think that's a dock or something? I don't know what the heck that is. Huh. And this piece that's Maui's body, is it just right here? Yeah, there we go. Yep. Hey, Mojo Hamster. Thanks for the follow if you're here. Picking up a follower during the picking up a follower during the puzzling stream. That's good. I love it. Okay. Yeah, some of the loosen some of the fine detail in the pieces makes lining some of these up a little bit tricky, but we're getting there. There's Maui's foot, looking good. Oh man, guys, we're almost there. Feeling so good. Just slamming these things in makes you feel like some kind of god doing a kid's puzzle. Fortune turtle. Yeah. This is yeah, for people who might just like come across this thing without knowing anything about us, like it is extremely strange, like you know, like what the heck is happening on this stream? Yeah, I do think there's something about building puzzles that I mean, at least for me, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but like the feeling of kind of getting the piece to sort of like snap into the right place. It unlocks some sort of, you know, like really good zone in my brain, that feeling of like, oh, I can see a little bit more of the image now. For whatever reason, I'm sure it's, you know, it's some sort of, you know, core human response to, you know, information. But I can definitely see why people enjoy them. I kind of lose, to be honest, I kind of lose interest after a couple hundred pieces. But they're a nice thing to just sort of have around. Family, pick it up and try to bang out a little bit after dinner. Certainly better than watching TV. Although my family and I watched BattleBots tonight, family favorite. I was so happy when they brought BattleBots back, and this season has been pretty solid. The bots are nasty. As usual, it's dang Tombstone. He just crushes everybody, that guy. And tonight was no exception. He obliterated, I don't know, some other bot. Doesn't matter. Tombstone's the only one that matters. Almost there. I remember a Windows version came with like Microsoft Puzzle or something on it, and I remember when I first got it, I was like super excited because, you know, like it actually did. It had like the ability to do the organization systems and stuff. You could like bring in a bunch of boxes and kind of lay the pieces out into the various boxes so you could keep track of the colors and stuff. And I just thought it was like a really neat implementation of putting puzzles together. And then like I started messing with it, and then I realized you had to like pay per puzzle. And then I was like, I'm out of here, man. I'm not doing that. I don't know why, but that kind of it's never worked for me. I would much rather pay just sort of like, you know, I don't like to have to meter myself to say like, oh, I can't experience this whole thing unless I just sort of keep paying tiny amounts of money for each little thing. So, you know, like games like Fortnite and stuff, like they kind of hurt me. I just never buy anything. I'd much rather either like pay just a flat rate or subscriptions. Like I'm fine with subscriptions just because then I get access to all the content, you know. But I really don't like that model of microtransactions. I can't get my mind around it. Even though, you know, like you buy a couple things, it's not like it. Over the course of playing the game, maybe you buy 10 items or something and you end up spending $30 on the game, and that's fine. But I never think of it that way. It always feels not pleasant to be buying these little tiny transactions. All right, guys, we made it. Anybody who's still here, we made it. Started at the bottom and now I'm on the top. Last piece. Oh no, we gotta get a better scan than that on the last piece, right? Oh man, it's that dang sky blue color again, which is really gave me grief over here before, right there. All these pieces. All right, well that's a little bit better. Look at that! Yes! We did it, everybody. We did it. I can't believe it. So we put a 100-piece puzzle together, and we scanned every single little bit of it. Here's my. There they all are, one at a time, right? So it worked. We didn't have a single piece not come in. We had a couple pieces that gave the algorithm some issues, and definitely, you know, the shadows were wreaking a little bit of havoc on the edges of these. But generally speaking, that worked really well. I feel like you would have to just be a total glutton for punishment if you wanted to play the game or play a puzzle this way. But you know, if you were really into puzzles and you wanted to do it with somebody remotely, you could. So what we're going to try now... No, I'm not going to try it. I was going to try to flip them all over at the same time. But since I'm streaming, it's possible that it would, like, freeze Vorpal. And that might not be good for the stream. So I'm not going to do that. But okay, so next stuff coming up. We will have another River Break stream next week. Normal time. So be there Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we will probably be getting Betrayal Legacy up on Team Stream. I'm hoping next week. We just got to kind of do some organization. Everybody's life has been a little bit crazy since since we're all kind of at home now. So we'll see if we get back to a normal Team Stream next week. And then we'll have some pretty exciting updates, I think, in the next week-ish of some new features. And then just generally some announcements on how things are going production-wise. You know, we've started actually buying raw materials, and we'll have some of the initial updates on how the fulfillment is going on the Kickstarter side. As usual, if this is the first time you've ever seen our software, you can find out more at vorpalboard.com. We're currently accepting late pledges for the Kickstarter, so you can check that out. You can get a link there from vorpalboard.com, and then you can find us on all of our random social media stuff. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. We have a Discord where we have a lot of active users who like chatting about Vorpal and what it's capable of, so you can ask questions and stuff there. Any final thoughts in the chat? I'll hang out for just a minute to see if anybody else has any kind of big questions or ideas. I feel so good. I'm just going to take a little drink here. I can't believe it. We got over the mountaintop together, which is great. And then definitely check out Dwarven Forge Live. I think that so far they've been running one-shots once a week with Vorpal. I'm not sure what their plan is for the upcoming weeks. They're kind of still developing their content as far as what they want to do while everybody's not in the office. So things might change week to week, but give them a follow on Twitch here if you want to see some cool D&D. And last week they had Thad on there, so you could go back and check out the VOD if you want to see him doing some D&D stuff. So that's cool. And then the last thing I wanted to say is I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I hope everybody who unfortunately doesn't have Vorpal Board yet is able to play games with people whatever way they can do it, either with their family members or kind of rigging something together on Skype or just playing some of the digital implementations of some of the board games. Hopefully people are getting their game stuff in. I think it can help everybody stay a little bit sane during this crazy virus time. And I think that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining me on this journey. This is a Ravensburger 100-piece XXL puzzle for ages 6+. So if that's you, check them out on Amazon. So have a good night, and I'll see you all probably next week. Bye-bye.